we want to talk about nightclubs, clubs of yesteryear, clubs of now, and the state of where clubs are right now.
Yeah, so I done Christmas Day in it, MC convention.
Christmas Day.
Yeah, we did Christmas Day
How did that go?
in the church.
Was it busy?
Yeah,
that was the first club I went into legally.
Sick.
Went there with my friend Jerry, who later on joined a girl group called Spice Girls.
So it's mad how when you look at venues, them iconic venues of the past, now there's something totally different.
Because when I went to the first one, I was like, wow. And then when I went to the second one, I was like, wow.
Ever got like a bit mad in there and people were fighting, they put on Cotton Eye Joe.
Yeah.
And they say, if you lot don't behave yourself, we're going to listen to this all night.
Opera House. At the screen now.
Yeah, Opera House.
Opera House.
That's what it was called.
Yeah.
Man was like, yo,
SaSaSaS show. Best of the best of the best with the very fresh flow.
Yes. Welcome to season 2 of SaSaSaS, the podcast, Life and Laughter. What you say, guys?
We say, man.
Hey, man, it's the re-up right now.
That's right.
You know what I mean? We filmed a bunch of content, man. Like we had such a good time filming it, and we want to big up all our guests as well.
Yeah, man.
I was re-listening to the DJ Rap one the other day, man. She was dropping some jewels of knowledge on there. You know what I'm saying? And big up Goddard, and we had a lot of fun on the football one, obviously.
Yes, I've had bare good feedback. everyone I speak to is just like, yo, you need to do another football podcast. That was sick. Like, even
Brian G, man, he's a legend, bruv.
Wait, can I just say,
shout to Jordan, that's my guy, you know what I mean?
Can I just tell you something? We are editing up the clips. Some of the clips.
No, man. Okay.
Don't worry.
It's not over to the fat lady sings right now. So S&M on that. You know
when I was
mean?
driving up here, I was thinking about that. You know, I was thinking, you know what? They're gonna come back and play the clip, so we've got to do it, man. We've got to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll save that for another day.
We'll see what's going on, because tonight is Judgment Day on that.
It will be good to look back at it though and to see, because like I predicted certain things that's really happened. Because I remember saying in that podcast, it's going to be about this game and how we determine to go into it, whether we're 8 points or we're level points or 1, but now we're behind. So
well, we're technically 5 points in front, but 2 games behind. As we talk right now.
That's right.
So technically, if we win the rest of our games this season and they do, we will finish 1 point below them.
Yeah. Well, because you're both playing each other. Anyway,
that's a side one. That's a side one.
Yeah, it's a real one.
So I'll tell you what we want to talk about today. First of all, we want to just say, don't forget to like, subscribe, all that. Big love to everybody who's been commenting on the posts, who's been sharing the videos and the audio podcast. And also, all the people we see out that keep telling. I mean, there's people that come up to me that I don't even know would be listening to what we do.
Me too. I've had really good feedback, and it's just been like, it's refreshing. People are saying, you know what, like I'm almost like what we said when we was driving together. Yeah. And man was like, it's like people are in the car with you, but it's like they're in the podcast.
Yeah, they're in a conversation. It sparks off a conversation with them.
Yeah, they're like answering the questions and
Mark Breeze's Mrs. Bally, hello to Mark and Bally, because they watch her. He said to me that he can hear her. She's in the kitchen cooking, and when we're talking, she's like going, no, and like she's in the conversation.
Involved. I like
which
that.
I think is brilliant.
No, it's wicked. It is, man.
I like that.
Big love to everybody out there. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. So we want to talk about something that is very close to us, and we think that this is close to anybody that likes any form of music. This isn't just a drum and bass jungle thing. This is a music lover things. We want to talk about nightclubs, clubs of yesteryear, clubs of now, and the state of where clubs are right now. We're in a real bad situation. And when I want to big up all the people on Facebook that I asked, tell me about your clubs, because there was clubs I forgot. I played at them years ago, but you just forget, didn't you?
Yeah, cool, man.
And some of the clubs,
that's right.
Some of the clubs that was coming, I was actually replying, going, "Oh my god, I forgot about that place." Do you know what I mean? So big love to everybody, all the Facebook lot that put in your clubs. Love to see that. So I want to go through clubs. So basically, Shabbz, if we start with you, what was your early? Give me some clubs that you remember from back in the day, whether they're here or now or whatever, and what was so special about them?
Like we was talking, I think on the rap podcast as well, she mentioned dungeons. So that was like when I got into the racing, that there was no clubs really, hardly. It was more like Warehousey. And then from there, like you're talking Maximus, like Leicester Square, Covent Garden.
God, I forgot about that place.
Yeah, Maximus was like so it used to start at 6 in the morning and go on to 6 at night.
Was that the one where you went downstairs?
Yes, Maxwell, right on Leicester
Square.
And then you had Busby's, which was more like a on the corner of Astoria.
By Astoria, I love that place.
That was my favourite. That one of my favourite clubs.
Do you know what? In there, I don't know if I mentioned the time when Paul Ince, you know, when Chelsea lost to Man United, and Paul Ince on the telly, and I was like, if I ever see him,
you did.
knock him out.
You did talk about that.
I was DJing in Busby's that night, and he came
asked
in
for a mixtape.
Yeah,
right?
he come in the booth,
it was
and
a
I was
sick
like, all right,
location.
Paul.
And then obviously that was next door to Astoria, which was one of my
Love
favourite
Astoria.
venues.
Yeah, I was going to mention that one to me.
Yeah.
Is Astoria a club or
Yeah.
okay.
Well, it's like a club live venue. They're all one.
Yeah, it's almost
like
like a mini Brixton Academy.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
See, Astoria now, for me, that was when I first got like my ID, 18, bruv, like, because I couldn't get in nowhere.
Yeah.
Other mates of mine been going out 2 years.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I could not get in anywhere.
I think it's a location as well, right on Tottenham Court Road on the corner.
Oh, mate, you know what I mean?
My favourite club of all time, there's probably two, to be fair, from back in the day. Because when I went to the first one, I was like, wow. And then when I went to the second one, I was like, wow. So it was Hippodrome.
Yeah, I like Hippodrome.
Was one of my favourite.
On Leicester Square.
Leicester Square. And then Equinox.
Equinox. Okay, so
also
that
on Leicester Square, right?
Yeah, that was Leicester
I
Square.
saw Method Man there.
That's where the red carpet was.
Yeah, that's right.
Let me tell you something about Hippodrome. So for any of our older fans that will remember that I made a track called Never Tried a Hippodrome.
Yeah.
Do you remember there's a Hippodrome in Manchester?
Yeah.
So the Hippodrome in Manchester, they actually called me after we released that and the tune started blowing up, and they went, are you talking about us? And I was like, no, it's just a rap I nicked. You know what I mean? It's just a rap I sampled. And they basically they were like, oh right, okay, and then they put the phone down. But then I think about it, I was never ever booked at the Manchester Hippodrome
since that.
I played in since then. But I was booked in. I played in the Hippodrome in Leicester Square.
Yeah,
that was a mad club.
Bro, it was so plush. And then there's two I want to mention more. That's not the norm. So back in the day, Café de Paris.
That's still there though, isn't it?
That's still there.
Café de Paris, that's Shaftesbury Avenue.
Right next to Equinox, just up a little bit more.
Yeah, but it's on the corner. Is it
not Shaftesbury Avenue. It's in Leicester Square. It's
on the corner. I know where it is because there's a McDonald's and a KFC there.
Yeah, so as you're going up, say like you was going past Equinox, like you got Hippodrome.
But it's quite tiny in there though.
Yeah, but it was plush, bro.
Yeah, no,
like,
it was
a
plush.
big thing. And Paradise in Angel.
Oh, right, okay,
That was sick.
do you know what?
They used to do like house nights there and
It's
stuff
like
like
AWOL. That was the original
AWOL.
Okay,
So they used to do AWOL every Friday and Sunday, and that was the place to be, man. Like you had to be 21 plus to get in there. So I couldn't get in there until late.
Clientele as well. Yeah,
and when I got into Paradise, I was like, wow, like the sound system. It was more the sound system and the location. It's where Islington Academy is now,
okay.
right at the back there. Do you know what I mean?
Mad.
So it's obviously all changed there, but that there was clubs that was. Yeah, like
that's the ones for you, man.
Well, talking, go on.
Yeah, I've got a few different ones, man. Like I started to talk about Astoria because that was the first time I got my ID and went to a rave. It might have been Jungle Heat Fever. Do you know what I'm saying? Astoria,
Heat Fever,
yeah, man. I just remember that was the first time I literally see him, Skibber, Det, Fearless, Ragga Twins, everyone just tearing it down, brother. And I was just like, I think I've said it before on the podcast, but it made me realise there's certain MCs in the UK now who are killing the crowds just like the American rappers and have got a fan base just like that. Yeah. And that's the first time I actually saw that because I didn't see that within UK hip hop. Yeah. They was kind of waiting for the Americans to come on, do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. So that would have been Fever Heat, that would have been 94.
94. They done Cool in there in 94, which was that big one where...
Was that where there was madness outside?
Yeah, outside.
And it was crazy.
Yeah, that was 94.
Yeah.
But around about that time, 94.
So Astoria was a big one for me because it's my first proper rave venue I went to. And then the other one after that would definitely be the Rex. In Stratford. I used to love the Rex because it was kind of edgy, innit?
Yeah,
It was like you never knew what was going to go down in there. I saw some mad things going on in there. And if you park your car down the side road,
smashed up.
Yeah, man. I went home, I think, twice with my mates with the window smashed in, trying to get the radio out, all of that. But it was what we come out and laugh at it. We weren't like, oh no, we was like, it's happened again. It was a wicked night, though, innit? So that venue, Stratford Rex, man, was iconic to me. I think it's like I had a meeting up there with King, the King Apparel guys, and I walked back down to the station, and I think it's like a soft play place now for kids.
Is it?
Yeah, so it's mad how when you look at venues, them iconic venues of the past, now there's something totally different. It's like another venue for me, which was a local one, was Atomics in Maidstone, because that was local to me. So if I wasn't going to a big rave, I'd always go there. Yeah. And then now I think it's just flats.
Is it really?
Yeah, but those Pure Sciences back then, man, there was something about that and that club and
Rocket as well. Rocket was sick.
That's it. Rocket.
Yeah, Rocket.
I see Wu-Tang there.
Did you?
Rocket was sick.
Yeah, I mean, like honestly,
Holloway Road.
This list is mad. The Rocket. I'm going to even go back further. Goods Way, King's Cross. Do you remember that?
Goods
you
Way.
probably
No, I
would
don't
have.
remember that.
So basically, that was a warehouse that Paul Ibiza used to do, and
He
Phil
told me about
Desire.
it. He told me about it
that was nuts, man. And then obviously Goods Way is the same area of Bagley's. Do you remember Bagley's?
I remember Bagley's.
These ain't clubs though. They're like venues though.
Yeah, but they still were operating as clubs.
Would Bagley's be considered a club? Because that's what I'm saying.
I thought so.
When I think of the bigger ones like Astoria, Rex, and Bagley's, I just think of them as massive live venues.
But it was industrial.
I guess they are clubs.
Because they operate as clubs.
Yeah,
so
Bagley's was. I'd say it was in the middle, wasn't it? Because it was like industrial as well, where it was.
Yeah,
I remember Bagley's, man. The searches were awful though. Man, I never have a man grab me up so much, you know.
Oh,
well. And when he was like, "Why are you moving?" I'm going, "Because I don't like you grabbing me there." I ain't strapped up on that in G.
Do you remember the cross next to it?
Yes, I remember the cross.
Yeah,
I don't remember that.
The cross was like a little club right next to Bagley's. Also, right, you must remember Heaven.
Yes, Heaven's.
I never went there, but that's like an iconic one in the West End, right? Charing Cross?
Yeah, Charing Cross. I played there about last year. They've done a thing there.
Yeah, Fabian Groove.
I've never even been in there.
Yeah.
No, have you not?
Never.
Brother, it's a sick club. It is a sick club.
Herbal.
Herbal I got on my list. I know you know about Herbal.
I love Herbal. When I first got in the scene, right, that was when Profile was running it. Shout out to Profile. So there was like Tuesday, Wednesdays and Thursdays of drum and bass going on in there. You know what I mean? It was like...
It was on the ends, man.
Herbal was the sickest, man. I used to love playing there. There was so much parties in Herbal at that time, man.
What was the club at the back there, round here? Vauxhall. What was it?
Before Fire. Hidden.
And what was the other one? There was one round the corner
the one round the back there.
There was two. So there was...
You had Area, which was the big one.
Area, which is gone.
Something one.
Studio One.
No,
I know what you mean though.
Yeah,
I know the spot
on that
you
back
mean.
road where that was as dodgy as
right near Area.
Was it one?
Yeah, it's behind Area. It's behind Area.
Yeah, man. Played there a good few times. It's got a wicked garden area in there. Yeah. Go and chill out.
Yeah.
So Vauxhall had the spots though. When you think about it, back in the day, man. But even for drums, like you had Hidden. And remember Bridge and them used to do loads of parties in there for Definition, and there was all kinds of things going on. Hidden. Hidden was like a regular one for me early doors, and the stage used to shake.
Yeah, it was Hidden.
Hidden was a part. Hidden was a spot I used to love that. Another again, a big smoking area, a nice place for people to talk and that as well. Then you had Area, which was massive. Which Area, if you want to talk about Area, that's where SaSaS was born.
Area. That's what I was thinking.
Oh, is that what you're thinking of Area? Okay, cool. Yeah.
Area 1, because that's what it was called at first, isn't it?
Did they take the one away? Okay, I just knew it was Area, but. That was, you're right. That's where SaSaS
Area was born. SaSaS was born there. And then obviously you got Fire, man, which is like still going strong.
And Lightbox.
Fire and Lightbox still going strong. I did my first ever drum and bass party in my own name in Lightbox.
Yeah, that's right. Do you remember?
You know what I mean? So there's history, man.
Extravagance.
What's that? Yeah, you remember that? Yeah, my first birthday bash I done in drum and bass. So this.
Wait, I'll tell you what as well. Do you remember that time? It was actually at Fire. It was the first time, like, when we first did a Harry Shotta show where we played non-drum and bass, and it was like the crowd were going mad, but all the artists were like, what the are you doing? You know what I mean? We took a bit of a risk there. But
because sometimes you got to know that like a lot of the people into the drum and bass at the time were listening to grime as well and dubstep, which is what we included in the set. So you take a risk and the artists are like, oh, I don't know if I do that, but the crowd are going mad. So I'm like, win-win, you get me?
That's it, exactly. So going to some other clubs, Club UN.
Club UN, that was sick.
Do you remember that? Did you go there?
No, I went there for Westwood events.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Oh, right, of course.
He used to do a lot up there, do you know what I'm saying?
What
Club
was the
UN.
club called again? How can I forget that, man? I've done bare dances there.
Yeah.
What, in Tottenham?
It's right by the police station.
Yeah, it was at the back. What was it called? Oh, my God, man.
So people are screaming at the screen now.
Yeah, Opera House.
Opera House.
That's what it was called.
Yeah.
Man was like, because it changed its name so many times.
Yeah.
I forget what it was called before, but
I got one for you. 4 Aces.
Never been.
I know you know 4 Aces.
Yeah,
so 4 Aces in
that sounds like a gambling spot.
What about in Tottenham? Rudolph's.
Rudolph's. Oh yeah, but that wasn't.
That was a club that was further up, innit? It was right at the top near Tottenham football ground.
That's right.
Rudolph's.
Oh yeah. That's right.
Garage things
Oh, that's right. What's his name? Used to do Boddy's brother.
Kiri, yes.
Kiri
used to do
Kiri used to do stuff there as well.
God, you got a big list there, boy.
Yeah, man. Roller Express.
Yeah,
Come on, bro.
It was a venue.
Yeah, but to me,
I never played there, but it's legendary in my mind because of the tapes that I used to listen to.
I'll tell you a story, one about Roller Express, right? So it was at that time when there was like the people were doing the robbing and that, and there was at a Desire there. And what the Desire boys done, they caught someone robbing, and what they did is they grabbed him and they basically took him into the back room and they searched him. Took out, like, he had like loads of like money and gold and everything that he'd been robbing off people. And then what they did is they stripped him naked.
And took his
they took everything.
Passport. Did they take
I don't know if he had his passport. But
he had bare passports on him. I remember that. They took his clothes off.
Yeah, they made him wait till the end of the rave when all the ravers are leaving, and they made him walk out the rave.
That is a serious walk of shame, man.
And you know, but all the ravers started laying into him.
Oh God!
So it was a mad one. Like,
well,
yeah,
I remember that. I remember that.
I remember that.
I was at the Telepathy as well when they we come out that rave, and they basically the police locked it all off and they never let no cars out.
Is that Michael Sobel?
No, that was Roller Express.
Oh,
they basically searched everyone. They weren't letting one vehicle out. Yeah, because there was some guns, man. Had guns at the rave and all that shit. Yeah,
mad times, man. Crazy
it took us
times.
about 3-4 hours to get out.
Where was because I used to listen to the Telepathy tapes, man. Where was mainly them dances, them Telepathy ones?
Wasn't it Marshgate Lane was the main?
Well, they started in Marshgate Lane, and they had Sobel. That was the big that rave there at Sobel was like. I think it was like 12,000 people. There was like
that was mad.
6
the
inside
rave actually
and 6 outside.
Through my set on
people
that
couldn't get in, and there was a lot of issues with that event. But after that, it was more like Wax, Telepathy. That was their home ground. And there's loads of other venues like when they used to do Life Utopias. They did it at Nathan Way back in the day. That was a wicked venue.
Yeah, because I just from someone who used to listen to the tapes back then, Telepathy had a different vibe even on the tapes, and it was the first time I think I heard Bass and Trigger. In a London dance, am I correct? Because I can't. And obviously, I heard him on Hysteria tapes. But then in a London dance, Bass and Trigger. I think that was the first.
Yeah, Telepathy was known for bringing them guys through as well in London.
Yeah, man.
Let me give you another. Like, at the moment, we're really talking about London. We will get to the rest of the country.
That's what I was going to say. There's so much.
Yeah, no, I've got here, but I want to get one venue. I want to say Linford Film Studios. Do you remember that?
Yeah, that was sick. That was like a big place to get into as well, wasn't it? Like
so I'll tell you who I went there with. I went there with my friend Jerry, who later on joined a girl group. Called Spice Girls.
Oh, really?
So, yeah. So I remember she was dancing there, and I went with her.
Wow.
And like it was just mad. And I remember like she was saying to me that I always remember she's going, I'm going to make it. I'm going to make it. And I believe she's going to make it, but I didn't know she'd be a singer, or I just knew whatever she'd do, she'd be like do well.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, she's
That's mad because so Jerry was kind of around the rave scene, right?
Oh, big time, bro.
Which is mad because I know Mel B.
Yeah,
she used to roll with Skinny Man back in the day as well at certain points. I think Skinny might have been going out, but I don't know.
Yeah,
big up Alex. You know what I mean? But like, you know what I'm saying? So they so those two were kind of around, and they were almost the figureheads of that group, weren't they? The others were kind of bought into.
Yeah,
I mean, that's crazy, man.
Yeah, it's mad. It's
rolling
mad.
with Jerry. You know.
So on my for anyone that collects vinyl, on my second record I ever made, it was called the Jungle EP, and it was in 1991, and I remember. On it, I sampled a vocal, and I was so scared. Oh my god, I've sampled someone. I'm going to get nicked and everything. That I actually said to Jerry, because I knew she was a bit of a singer, and I said, Jerry, do you mind if I put your name like on the record, so that if I get in trouble, like I said, no, Jerry sang it.
She sang it,
and she was like, yeah, cool. And if you look on the inside of the scratched in the vinyl, it says vocals by Jerry. And that's Jerry Halliwell.
Because I remember you used to do it on the people do their shout outs.
I used to
they
do
couldn't
that.
afford a sleeve. They used to scratch them on the inside of the record.
I've got like, but you can see who I was like kind of rolling with at that time. So you'd see like Carl Cox, Mickey Finn, and Gemini, and blah blah blah. Do you know what I mean? And so it's mad. But another venue I've got to mention, right? Limelight. Limelight is...
Yeah, Limelight was sick.
You must have went Limelight on the Shaftesbury Avenue on the corner. Bruh. That was one of the sickest venues, right?
There as well later.
So I always remember there was like 2 floors, and what it is the top floor.
Go downstairs as well.
Yeah. So when you went downstairs was the underground. So that's where I played in the underground, right?
West End, right.
And I always remember there's this one geezer in the corner, and anyone that used to go there, remember, and he used to do this thing. He'd be like, he always in time with the beat, and he'd be at the back of the crowd going, just the whole night. And you know what? It was so hypnotic, man. And like, if he weren't there, you'd miss him.
So you know what it is, right? You know what? Like, so that guy now, right? He would be a social media icon. He'd be a meme.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? He'd be someone that everyone knows. Like in our scene, we've got Denise, isn't it? That's become like quite a famous character because he's been here so long. He's a soldier. And you know what I mean? So he would be like, nowadays, that man would be known.
I know,
But back then,
man.
he'd just be the guy in the corner going,
but honestly, it was so sick though. And you knew, and what it is, you know, I don't know about now, because obviously obviously back then we were getting on it and everything, you know what I mean? But back then it would just be like, you'd just be in the vibe and like, you'd be locked away and you'd be listening to the music, not talking to anyone, and all you could hear was, and it weren't like the like they do on Ant and Dec. It wasn't that one. It was a bit more of a cooler one. It was a lower tone. Like, big up that man.
So what about like? There's another rave I used to, or not a rave, sorry, a venue I used to hear about back in the day, Labyrinth.
Yeah, that was at Four Races. That was at Four Races.
Ah, okay. So I used to hear that name.
Yeah, so Labyrinth was a mad.
Was that
one.
Peckham?
No, it's in Dalston, right? But where he's from.
All right, cool.
Manor Club as well. Manor Club. I used to go there. That weren't really drum and bass, but that was right on Manor House, and that was a mad club because when I used to come back from jungle raves, I never used to go out really raving in jungle. I used to go like other garage and other things. And Manor, like Freak FM at the Manor Club was
Are
bagging.
you talking about
that was right
Berwick Manor?
No, Manor House.
Oh right,
Manor House,
right.
Yeah.
There used to
that
be a
was
club
massive,
there,
bro. Like that era there.
I don't remember D&B being in there or jungle.
Nah, there weren't really no jungle,
right, okay.
but it was just more like UK garage. But that club there was just like everyone used to go there. Like it was like used to go there, and then there'd be after parties after that, and it was mad. It was like a whole different world as well. You know what I mean?
One of my favourite all-time venues, and still to this day, Camden Palace. Coco. So that was the first club I went into legally. So I'd been going clubs before, but that was the one when they went, you got ID, and I went, Camden Palace, Coco.
Camden Palace, man. I've been like, I've done that on all sorts of levels, like proper, like raving in there, top off and that. You get me?
Yeah.
Like bouncers coming.
I don't want to fight anyone.
Bouncers coming to tell me you got to put your top on, mate, and all that. You know what I mean? And then getting a bus home back to Gravesend. Them ones.
Oh wow.
Night bus things. And then I've also been there like as a performer.
Yeah.
I've been there to like things like when SBT had. I've been to so many different things there.
I was with you at the SBT. Didn't we meet Adam Deacon? Yeah, that's right.
So it's been so many nights in that spot, man.
Yeah.
I even went to a garage night there once, which was like cookies and cream or something. It was just mate, one of my favourite nights.
They actually did. I think they had a residency there, cookies and cream.
Bro, that night was proper. And that is the garage of like Todd Edwards and that vibe, and almost more like what he's called speed garage. Before it kind of went more sub-low and dark, it was just vibes, bro.
Yeah, for real.
Good, man.
So I'm gonna give you a club, right? I know you both must have been to, but you'll be like, oh my god, SE1.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, man.
SE1 was sick, man. I used to go to Pure Silk and all that there.
Yeah.
You're talking about Victoria, right?
SW1. That's SW1.
No, not SW1.
SW1
that's
Victoria.
SW1.
That was next door to the station.
SE1, the big warehouse in London Bridge.
Oh, of course, we all played there, man. I used to love that spot, man. And there used to be bare spot. Cable was there in that same area, wasn't it? Do you know what I'm saying? That was sick. But the one SW1,
that's sick.
I used to go Rampage there. Rampage used to play there. You know the sound system, Rampage, and there's sometimes like if ever got like a bit mad in there and people were fighting, they put on Cotton Eye Joe, and they say if you lot don't behave yourself, we're gonna listen to this all night. If it still carried on, they put Kylie Minogue on. You know what I mean?
Wow. Bring that back.
Another way to go as well. Sick Coliseum.
Yeah.
Oh,
right. You want around the corner?
Yeah.
Do you know what?
Was sick,
I couldn't.
Bro.
I had to actually. I kept going to the Mrs. Babe. What's that club we used to go? Martin Liner used to run.
Martin Liner.
And and I'd be like, the one in Vauxhall. And she's like, I was going, do you remember that time? And I told her a funny story. Like she's probably panicking. As you
come round on the bend,
But it is. And I could not remember. I had to actually search online to find out what was the name of the club. Club Coliseum.
My last. I've been to some wicked nights there just as a raver. I think my last memory of going there performing, they wouldn't let my driver in.
Oh really?
Brandalo, they thought he was drunk. I said,
I remember that. Yes, I remember that.
He's not drunk. He's just like that in real life.
Wait, do you remember a club called the Tudor Rose in Southall?
No.
Okay, so I got a funny story about Tudor Rose, right? So Tudor Rose was a notorious reggae club, right? And then anyway, they did a jungle rave in there, and I was amazed. And anyway, I went in there, played my set. And I remember Gachet, so I played my set, everyone was like, they're raving and that. And I remember Gachet coming after me, and his first opening tune was Wicked, Junglist Massive.
Oh, the General Levy, yeah?
Bruv, yeah. The place erupted. Yeah. I never felt so like, wow, I just wasted the last hour of my life. Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
It went that crazy.
It went that mad from that one tune. And it was at that time when there was this whole thing of, should people play it? And I mean, big up Levy and that, but when it come round and it's first time, I never played it. I wasn't a big fan of it. I'll play it now though. I love the tune now, but back at the time I wasn't mad on it. But I always remember, that's what I always remember. My one time, I always remember Tudor Rose was like the spot. You'd hear it on the radio, like Tudor Rose this week. And, you know what I mean? And then I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to play it.
You're making me go in the archives now. Eros, man.
I do know that name. Oh my God, yeah, bloody hell. Yeah, he did used to run that, didn't he?
That was the sickest place as
well. That was mad.
Eros, it was like it was like in a massive car park, but like it's an not industrial, like all shops are there and that, but that venue on a Sunday was the place to be, man.
That's reminded me, even before I was in drum and bass now, there was a spot we used to go and do hip hop and like it was R&B nights as well. It was Matrix in Reading. You ever been there?
Yeah,
nah.
That was a spot as well, man. Back in the day, man, people from London used to go down and everything. It was a vibe.
Matrix
that was, you remember that spot?
I remember.
Heartless used to do a lot of things down there.
Yeah, I played there a few times as well.
So we've got a few more London, then we'll go to the rest of the country because trust me, this list is massive. So we want to talk about Brixton. It's got some amazing clubs. Obviously, Brixton Academy, the Fridge.
See, Brixton Academy, that's a live one, isn't it? Like, that's not really a club.
But it's still a club.
Is it a club?
Yeah, it's a club. It's a club venue.
I disagree on that because you'd have the biggest artists performing there. They wouldn't go to a small club. That's how many people you get in there? 6,000? It's big,
maybe
man.
more. No,
big.
Actually, it's not. It's about 4.5.
Yeah.
Brixton.
Yeah.
Brixton Academy is the spot, though, man.
Yeah,
I've seen so many big artists there. I see Rick Ross there.
Clubs more like when they open, like Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. In it, it's more like
a little bit more intimate. I feel as well.
But then again, they could have events there. Every day,
yeah. Well, One Nation done stuff in there.
I done One Nation
back in the day.
Yeah.
So that was when I done One Nation there, man. Just a quick little side note. I remember it was when Groove Rider just come back out, innit, man, and like he was like saying to Skip, "Who's that?" He never seen, man. And suddenly that boy on the main stage. That's the first time I met Groove Rider, man, at One Nation, Brixton Academy. Yeah, man.
So also Dingle, the Fridge. It's not called a Fridge now, is it?
It's called Electric.
Electric. That's it. So Electric Brixton is called a Fridge, and then the club in the middle of the roundabout. Mass.
Yeah.
You remember Mass?
Mass was the spot. I used to love Mass.
I've done a couple dances there still. I've done Christmas Day in it, MC Convention.
Christmas Day?
Yeah, we did Christmas Day.
How did that go?
In the church.
Was it busy?
Yeah, it was all right.
Because Christmas Day is a hard one, man. Imagine telling the missus, I'm off out.
We had about 1,000 in there, but it was mad, bro. Because it was in a church on Christmas Day. It was like, what? Like, mad shit. You get me? But that was decent, that venue, man. But
it was a good venue.
Man used to get jacked outside, though. Like,
it was a bit of a gauntlet going there. But also, as well, walking up them stairs, man, you was just knackered by the time you got to the top floor. Because it was like...
it was a lot.
It was like a lot of stairs.
But it was slow, because everyone's moving super slow, especially when they're buzzing. Like,
you know what I mean? Also Blue Note. Do you remember Blue Note?
Oh, mate, I played there a couple of times. Again,
was that Shoreditch?
Shoreditch. It's Shoreditch. But do you know what? I don't think I ever played at the Blue Note, but I went there. I went to Goldie's night there.
See, I played there. Again, some of these venues you're talking about, I was doing hip hop then.
Right, okay.
So I did like live PAs at some of these spots, but not the rave
what
thing.
Was the club in Holborn on the corner? Oh my God.
The Leisure Lounge.
Leisure
Lounge. That's it. I used to run events in there.
Leisure Lounge,
yeah, that was bad,
isn't it?
Yeah, I got some funny stories about that.
Yeah, that was a venue, bruv.
That was a venue. That's actually that's actually the venue that I do you remember I told that story about Skibbs when I never had no money to pay him?
Oh, okay. It was at that venue.
That was it. I was trying to think. Covent Garden, the Garden Club.
I don't remember
That's where they used to do that. Every Sunday, the Garden Club, Paris and Sherry. You remember Sherry?
Oh yes.
They used to do their thing there, morning after. That's
the morning after.
Then
that's right.
Maximus, Leicester Square. But it started in
the
the Garden Club, and that was every Sunday. That was sick, bro.
Yeah, that was mad. So I've got two more clubs that I've got to mention because like my mate Kay put them up there, and they were clubs that we went to, and the Gas Club.
Gas Club. Oh,
do you remember the Gas Club?
That was behind. That's where I met Skibber.
I've heard of Gas Club.
I met Skibber.
Yeah, it was behind. It was behind Astoria, wasn't it?
No, it was behind. That's where it was opposite Cafe de Paris at the back.
Yeah, it was behind. Yeah, so basically, Cafe de Paris is on the corner, and then it wasn't like there. It was like kind of behind it.
Yes.
So and then the Wag Club. Do you remember the Wag Club?
I heard of that as well. I heard of that. Things like Wag and that I used to hear about, but I couldn't go.
Yeah,
because the hip hop man would have things there as well. So I want to go. But the one thing I did used to go to was a club called Borderline. Which was on Manette Street, which was just next to Astoria.
Yeah.
Big up 279. He used to run a thing there called Flavour of the Month.
Right.
And I couldn't even get in, but I used to go up there just to like network with some of the rappers. Everyone used to hang out there, innit? So I just hang out there.
What, outside?
Outside. And the bouncers let me in once. They said, you got to have me on the speaker. And they found me a few times. And they said, no, you got to go. You know what I mean?
Can I just say, right, out of all, that's it. We've pretty much just touched on London. Oh, well, I don't know about that one. Anyway.
Big up Peter.
So what I want to say is, like, of all of those clubs that we've just spoken about, there is probably, like, we've spoken maybe about 40, 50, 60 clubs or whatever. And it's actually really sad that there's like only a small fraction of them still open. How bad is it?
Yeah,
that was a massive part of our culture.
Of course, man. And like,
whether, even going back into the 60s, 70s, 80s, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, what would you put that down to? I know pandemic has probably definitely resulted in a lot of shutdown of venues through that period, but
property.
Even more so, is it like, the people buying property, like big people coming in, buying up the property, shutting things down.
That's exactly what it is.
And also the rise of the festival a little bit as well.
Well, I mean, that's probably put the nail in the coffin.
And councils wanting that, not people coming out 6, 7 in the morning.
You've got to look at it like this. In lockdown, all them people that had clubs and whatever, you know, people might have seen recessions coming or whatever, and then they thought like they ain't gonna make that income.
Yeah,
like especially lockdown, all the clubs were closed. There was no one going out, so they probably just redone the had the property or the land and just built flats. And people can live there and they can get rent.
I know it's so sad, but I think what we're gonna do, we're gonna wrap this one up, and what we should do is another episode about the clubs around the rest of the country. Because trust me, look at that list of clubs around the rest of the country.
That's part 1 London, isn't it? We've just eaten up that.
Yeah, part 1 London. So listen. Remember, look, if you have any of your favourite clubs that you remember from back in the day, whether they're here or they're not, please let us know in the comments.
Yeah, get the conversation going in the comments, man. We love reading that.
Because, we do. And so don't forget to like, subscribe, and all of the usual stuff. SaSaSaS, Life and Laughter, the club.
You never know, man. What does Shabbz say, man? Sometimes it's a 360.
Yeah.
It might come back round to some intimate venues. I've done a few recently and I've really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Going in a club, 400 cap. Jam vibes. I enjoy that just as much. I told someone a story the other day, man. We did Tomorrowland, right? Like all us guys went over there and did it, and we had such a great time, and it was brilliant. And the next day, I did a club called, I think it's called the Black Swan. It even sounds like a pub, but it's the Black Swan in Bristol. You know the spot.
Yeah.
And it was Generation Dub with me and X-Man, and I enjoyed it just as much as being in the biggest festival in Europe. I love both. I love the club, the festival.
The intimate thing works as well.
I love them spots, man. So
it's coming back round, man. There's things opening and there's a lot more smaller things that, like Shotta says, they're getting better. So since lockdown, I'm talking about. Do you know what I mean? So it's in a better position than it was last year.
Hopefully, it's going to get better. So we're going to wrap that one up. Listen to part 2, where we're going to talk about clubs around the rest of the country. This is signing out. Peace.
Later.
SaSaSaS, beats and bars, fresh. Don't know we're heavy. The best of the best of the best. So awesome if they're ready. Yes. SaSaSaS, beats and bars, fresh. Don't know we're heavy. The best of the best of the best. So awesome if they're ready. Yes.